Today we're going to talk about the Taurus Judge Public Defender. I absolutely love this pistol. There's a lot of back and forth with this pistol. Is it a gimmicky gun? Is it worth carrying? Who would carry this conceal? I like this gun. There's a long tradition of snub nose pistols being used for concealed carry and perfection and protection since probably the 20s, but definitely the 30s, 40s, 50s, on through to the 80s. Charter Arms made a very good business selling snub nose revolver, 5-shot, 38 specials, 44 specials. Very, very good guns. Traditionally, they were a mode of protection, if not the primary mode, but also as a backup. A lot of cops would use snub-nosed revolvers as backup pistols, either in an ankle holster or somewhere else in case their main pistol did not work. And so there's a lot of advantages to using a snub-nosed revolver for protection. There is a lot of people out there. You may be a able-bodied man or woman, but there are a lot of people out there that need protection, but aren't able to manipulate, pistols. Actually, my mother, she had a 380, and she had a hard time working that thing. So revolvers are good for people that may not, be able-bodied as we are. They need protection too. So the revolver is a fantastic thing for them to have. Another good thing about revolvers is the reliability. If you pull the trigger and the round does not go off, you just pull the trigger again. The cylinder turns and another bullet goes in there, and you're on your way. And that's another thing too. If people have some type of disability or problems, if they have some type of hang up or jam with a automatic caliber pistol, then they might be out of the self-defense realm. So I love this pistol. There's a lot of back and forth, a lot of people kind of crapping on it, but I think I understand part of that. I was watching some videos where the old Taurus judges would jam up if you fired, some type of shot shell in them. The brass would heat up and expand, and the wheel would jam up, and it would not fire properly. And so I understand that, and I think Taurus has fixed that with the Public Defender. And that's another thing I really, really like about this pistol is you're able to, fire shot shells 410. It's a very versatile pistol if you think about it. It might be a really good SHTF type of pistol to have. We have in the land of the free and home of the brave. We are also the land of plenty and abundance. We've got ammunition everywhere, but if you were in a SHTF type of situation, it might be good to have a pistol that can fire multiple types of rounds. The Taurus Judge can fire 45 Schofield, which is a rare round, I know, but it is a thing. 45 long Colt. As you can see here, I've got some home defense rounds in there, but also 410 shot shells. And that's very interesting. The shot shell 410 thing, I think, appeals to a lot of people. You now you have a whole new range of ammunition to be able to fire out of this thing. You've got birdshot, bigger BBs, up into buckshot and slugs, and that's now you're talking. So a lot of people may not be as able-bodied as we are, and need a revolver or use as a backup gun. I think it would be a good stash gun somewhere also, and I think it would be a fantastic trail gun. So I think I absolutely love this pistol. I think it's very, very good looking, very good looking pistol. It's versatile. You can fire many different rounds out of it, 410 slugs. Now we're talking some serious firepower. But the thing I also like about shot shells is, again, if you're in an SHTF type of situation and all you've got's a bunch of BBs, clay pigeon birdshot or whatever, you could actually, I'm talking if you're in a situation or if you have the expertise to maybe do this, you could start getting into the realm of sabot rounds where you could start, just pop the top of the shell, pour the BBs out and put some type of special round in there. Or you could even do shot shells, cut shells where you actually cut the shell, and then when it fires, the whole plastic part detaches and comes out as one round. When it hits as a solid mass and then spreads after it hits. So, we're starting to talk about interesting things that can be done with this pistol. I absolutely love it. I've fired it. I've fired the 45 long Colt and had absolutely no problem with recoil. I've actually watched a couple of videos where a couple of kids were crying about how it hurt their hands to shoot and blah, blah, blah. But, I'm a big guy. I have absolutely no problem with this. Fired many, many rounds out of it. Absolutely love it. Totally reliable. Beautiful gun. Lightweight. It's about 27 ounces. There's a lot of talk about this grip here. I love the grip. It's kind of bendy there to hold, to fit into your hand better. A lot of complaints is that it's a small handle, so your finger wraps around the bottom, but I'm okay with that. When you're firing this thing, you can't have your hand up here where the cylinder is. You're going to burn your hand. So the way you're going to fire this thing is by locking this hand right behind here. And as you can see, it locks in there really, really well. So that was another complaint about this pistol that I'm not seeing. I am able to totally handle this pistol very, very well. So I highly recommend it. And another thing about this pistol, like I said, there's a long tradition of snub nose revolvers being used for protection. In the 20s, 30s, up into the 80s, 90s, this was a good option to have maybe as your primary concealed carry. But, that was back in the day when people had 5 rounds, 6 rounds, 8 rounds. If somebody had a 45, a Colt 45 or something like that, and you were competitive. Now, in the days of staggered magazine, 16, 17 rounds in a pistol, you are outgunned. As far as carrying this as a primary conceal, yes, maybe for women or, in your bag or whatever, or an ankle holster or stash somewhere, I could definitely see that as your primary carry. Again, that would depend. I think it would be a very fantastic trail gun because of the versatility. If you're out on the trail, now we're talking a whole different story. We're not talking about self-protection from other persons. We're talking about self-protection maybe from things in the woods. The versatility of this gun is you can put a shot shell in the first chamber there and keep a bird or snake round in there. So if you come across a snake, you can use that, but then you can use the other 4 slots that you have for 45s. So if you come across something else, hopefully not, but if you do, you have a very nice round to protect yourself from potential big bear or boar or whatever. I really like this gun. And it is in the tradition of cheap wheel guns. You can pick this thing up for about $400, and I think that's a very, 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 very good choice. I used to date a girl that had a 357 Smith & Wesson snubby, and it was a beautiful, beautiful pistol. This is a beautiful pistol as well. And again, the versatility thing, if you put 45 plus P rounds in this thing, now you're talking about pressures close to 44 magnums. So this thing could be a snub-nosed, close to 44 Magnum, 45 Long Colt, 45 Schofield, or shell shots, and then you can start getting exotic with potential sabot rounds. You might, if you had a steel rod laying around, you could probably cut that up in bits, sharpen the end, and have steel bullets, steel flechettes. So very, very, very versatile gun, very, very cheap gun. I highly recommend it. Like I said before, this thing's 27 ounces, not very heavy. Very, very wonderful gun, easy to operate. I absolutely love it. So, you know, there's a lot of talk about this pistol, and I recommend it. So there you go. Yeah, if you want a 44 Magnum snub nose, you got it. If you want shot shells, you got it. If you want exotic rounds, you got it. Here on Ultra Top Secret, we look at things in a a covert spy type of thing, and so we're talking about sabot rounds and stuff like that. Another interesting thing that you could do with this bad boy would be some of these right here. You could potentially also start working with the magnesium rounds. I've thought about this long and hard whether I would use these magnesium dragon breath rounds for self-defense. But if you think about it again, this is another versatile thing about this pistol is, you put some of these rounds in here and use it as self-defense. If something goes down, things usually happen within just a few feet. You fire one of these off and you are going to absolutely stun your opponents. A big fireball, about a 5 by 5 foot fireball is going to come out of this thing at 4,000 degrees. It's basically like having a flashbang grenade in your hand. When this goes off, your opponents are not going to know what to think, and it's going to have a shock and awe effect to it. So I've mulled in my head over and over again whether I would use these type of rounds for self-defense. Definitely would not use it inside the house, but in other situations I potentially would. Basically a big flashbang grenade going off when this thing goes off. And that's another thing I didn't talk about, the buckshot. That's another thing. If people are a little disabled, can't see well, aren't able to move around as well, may have a hard time aiming, the buckshot, three rounds come out of this thing. So instead of just firing 5 bullets downrange, you're firing 15 projectiles downrange when you start firing this thing off. So when it goes off, it's about a 7 foot distance. It's a pattern about the size of a paper plate. So, if you've got some type of disability, that could come in handy. And everyone else thinks that they're, when the feces hits the oscillator, that they're going to stand up there like Audie Murphy or John Wayne and be all brave and stuff. But when the feces hits the oscillator and the firing starts and you're in the thick of battle, aiming might be a hard thing, especially whenever people are moving around and stuff. So a wider pattern of fire might come in real handy. So there you go. That's my thoughts on the Taurus Judge. I hope you like this video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next Ultra Top Secret.